Right now, as you're sitting there watching this, you are moving through space at 2.7 million miles per hour. You don't feel it. You never will. And that's just the beginning of how strange the universe actually is. Space doesn't play by the rules we're used to. The numbers are too big. The physics is too strange. And the truth is often far weirder than anything science fiction could invent. In the next 20 minutes, we're gonna walk through 10 facts about the universe that sound completely made up. They're not. Every single one is real. Let's start with a planet that could float in your bathtub. Saturn is the second largest planet in our solar system. It's over 9 times wider than Earth. And despite its massive size, here's the strange part. Saturn is less dense than water. If you somehow built a bathtub big enough to hold it, Saturn would float right there on the surface, just like a giant beach ball. This isn't a trick of the numbers. It's because Saturn is made almost entirely of gas, with very little solid material actually packed inside. Most of what makes Saturn Saturn is really just fluff. Think about that for a second. A planet 9 times the size of Earth. Massive enough to dominate the night sky. And it would bob on the surface of water like a toy in a bathtub. Deep inside Neptune and Uranus, scientists believe something extraordinary is happening. The immense pressure and extreme heat inside these ice giants may be squeezing carbon into solid diamonds. Diamonds which then fall like rain through the planet's interior. It's not confirmed with total certainty, but lab experiments recreating those extreme conditions have produced exactly that. Tiny diamonds forming out of crushed carbon. On Venus, a single day, one full rotation on its axis, takes about 243 Earth days. But Venus only takes 225 Earth days to orbit the Sun, which means on Venus a year actually finishes before a single day does. Try to imagine that. Waking up on Venus and your entire year is already over, before the sun has even set once. Space is almost completely empty, and sound needs something to travel through. Air, water, any kind of matter at all. Since space has none of that in any meaningful amount, sound simply cannot travel. If you were floating outside a spacecraft and screamed as loud as you possibly could, the astronaut floating right next to you would hear absolutely nothing. Total, complete silence. When a massive star collapses, it can become what's called a neutron star. An object so incredibly dense that a single teaspoon of its material would weigh billions of tons here on Earth. To put that in perspective, that's roughly the same weight as an entire mountain, compressed down into a space smaller than a sugar cube. That one's strange. But fact number 7 is the kind of thing that makes scientists question their own eyes. Try to picture every single grain of sand on every beach on planet Earth. Every desert, every dune. Astronomers estimate there are more stars in the observable universe than that. The Milky Way alone contains over 100 billion stars. And there are more than 2 trillion galaxies out there. Each one packed with billions more. We've always been taught the sun is yellow or orange. It's not. If you observed the sun directly from space, it would appear as a brilliant, pure white. The yellow and orange colors we see from Earth are caused by our atmosphere scattering certain wavelengths of light. The sun you've seen your entire life has actually been an optical illusion. At the very center of our galaxy sits Sagittarius A star, a supermassive black hole with a mass roughly 4 million times that of our sun. For decades, it was purely theoretical. Then, in 2022, astronomers finally captured a real image of it. The first direct photograph of the black hole that our entire galaxy quietly orbits around. Even sitting completely still, you're not still at all. Earth spins on its axis. Earth orbits the sun. The sun itself orbits the center of the Milky Way, and the Milky Way is racing through the universe. Add it all together and you are currently moving at roughly 2.7 million miles per hour without feeling a single bit of it. Right now, our galaxy, the Milky Way, is on a collision course with our closest large neighbor, the Andromeda Galaxy. They are moving toward each other at over 200 to 50,000 miles per hour. In roughly 4 billion years, the two galaxies will begin to merge. Stars swirling past each other in an immense, slow-motion cosmic dance. Because space is so vast, scientists believe almost no individual stars will actually collide. Instead, over billions of years, the two galaxies will gradually reshape into something entirely new. One single, larger galaxy, and somewhere inside it, whatever remains of our solar system will simply be along for the ride. From a planet that floats to a black hole we've finally photographed, to a galactic collision already in motion. The universe has never needed exaggeration. It's strange enough on its own. Which of these facts blew your mind the most? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this journey through the cosmos, make sure to subscribe, because this is only the beginning of the strangest stories in the universe.